Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. As you watch this, I'm probably somewhere in America, so you know, usually I upload vlogs and stuff. I thought while I was away I would do a few more sit down videos, and I've had a lot of ideas for different sit down videos. I have a nerdy spreadsheet of kind of video ideas on my laptop, and I've had this idea for a while because it's something that I do have quite a lot of, so I thought today I would sit down and take you through my theme park homeware. So a lot of you guys probably know that instead of kind of like when it comes to buying merch at theme parks and that kind of thing, I don't really buy clothes because I'm very particular about the kind of clothes I like, and more often than not, like a theme park t-shirt isn't something I would usually wear, with the exception of kind of like I have a Halloween Horror Nights t-shirt for instance, or I have like a vintage like Universal Studios t-shirt. That kind of thing I will wear, but generally speaking, ride merch isn't stuff that I like to wear. So instead what I do is I try and buy stuff that I can kind of have around my home, which, I mean, I've kind of piled it all here, and I'm going to kind of show you it on camera and then kind of show you it in its natural habitat, how I place it around the house, and it's actually like more stuff than I thought. So yeah, we'll go through that today. Just as a bit of a disclaimer, I'm not going to show you my glassware or my magnets or my mugs, because I feel like there's so much of those. I could do a whole separate video on mugs and magnets alone. So this is specifically theme park homeware stuff, and there's no real rhyme or reason. I've piled up all the stuff here. If you look at it, there's this huge pile of crap here. And I'll just kind of take you through it, tell you what park I got it from, what it is, what I like to do with it, etc, etc. So let's get to it. So first up we have this tin. It's like a celebration tin. I'll try and let it focus. There you go, you can kind of see it there, nice reflection of the camera screen there. It's a celebration tin from Disneyland Paris. We got it, but it was for the Mickey's birthday party, Mickey's 90th birthday. We got it last year. It's really cool. You can kind of see all the symbols from all the different Disney parks. So you've got, I think there's, yeah, Shanghai Disney at the bottom there, Disneyland Paris's tower, Disneyland Paris's tower? No, sorry, Disney World's tower, Disneyland Paris's Space Mountain, California Adventure Wheel, Shanghai Disneyland. So there's kind of a weenie, if you know what a Disney weenie is, a weenie from all the major Disney parks. And I just thought that was really cool. It has got, if I open it up, it's still got little like Mickey shaped sweets inside. You see that? Let it go on, Mickey, there we go. It's like a Mickey shaped sweet inside. And they're kind of, I just kind of keep them on my coffee table as kind of like sweets to have. But yeah, I really like this thing. You can kind of see on the side it says Mickey's birthday party. Yeah, world's biggest mouse party, and because we got it from Disneyland Paris, as the Disneyland Paris logo as well. But yeah, thought that was really cool. Nice representation of all of the Disney parks there, which is really cool. I really like that one. Next up is something from Efteling, which is this pen. I don't like to use it because it's very delicate. It's kind of, as you can see, it's kind of a quill. It's got the Efteling logo on it there, you can see. But I like to kind of, I have like a geeky theme park shelf on my bookshelf, which you'll probably be looking at images of now because I'm going to insert some clips. But I just think that's really cool. Like, I like to have it on my shelf almost as like a piece of theming in itself. I don't think I've ever actually written with it. I just thought it was a cool pen, so that's that one. Next up, I know I said I wasn't going to do drinkware, but this one I think is slightly different. As you can see, that's from Shanghai Disneyland. You get the kind of boba teas in these, and if you follow any of the kind of Disney accounts on Instagram, you'll see there's loads of different designs of these now. I think there's a load of Toy Story ones. I know there's definitely like a Buzz Lightyear one and a Mr. Potato Head one, but there was like a boba tea in this. But I just thought the cup was really, really cute, and it's kind of something I would put on a shelf as kind of a reminder of a park visit that doesn't necessarily, like, to look at it, you wouldn't necessarily know that that's a cup. Obviously if you look in the top, it's got the straw hole from where there was a straw in it once, but yeah, we brought that back because I just thought I liked that it was really clear, simple Mickey ears. It's got the Shanghai Disneyland logo on it, and it looks really cool just on a shelf as a nice memento from the trip. You'll notice a lot of this stuff is Disney stuff. That is because most of the parks who do nice homeware are Disney parks. A lot of other theme parks don't really go down the homeware route as much. I wish they would though. But yeah, another Disney one. Anyone who has been to Shanghai Disney or knows about Shanghai Disney is they're really into their biscuit tins. So we got this really, I just absolutely love the design of this box. It's kind of, it made me think of like the Titanic because it looks like Mickey and Minnie on the Titanic, and it's got this kind of like nautical motif on it. it, and it's got like the vintage Mickey and Minnie on the front. I just think it's absolutely stunning. I think it's actually, and sorry, yeah, you can see the Tokyo Disney Sea logo on the bottom there. I think it's actually still got biscuits inside. Hold on. Yeah, and each, I mean, it's very, very delicate and Japanese, and you can see like it kind of is just a really nice tin, and all the biscuits are there, and they're all individually wrapped, and they've kind of got this really fab like, really fab like Mickey and Minnie print on it as well. Sorry, my nails are so grim, sorry. Yeah, and they say Tokyo Disney Sea on the back there, which is so cute. This is the kind of thing, like obviously when we went to Tokyo Disney Sea, it was a huge trip for us. It's somewhere we've wanted to go forever, so it's just nice to have that memento of that trip. And we recently got the Lego Steamboat Willie Mickey and Minnie set, so I think this will look really nice kind of all set up together with this, and it all kind of matches, which it satisfies my the interior designer within me. It all matches in a nice little corner, and I love it. Keeping on theme with biscuit tins, I think I've shown this one in another video, I'm pretty sure I did, but this is, I absolutely love this. I bought this solely because of what it was for the biscuit tin. It's the Universal wheel. It's from, again, it's from Japan. It's from Universal Japan. It opens up, you can see where the biscuits used to be. We ate all of those ones. I actually think one of the rabbits ate all the biscuits out of that. I'm pretty sure I came home once and a rabbit was just on the floor like. But yeah, I just think that is so cool. It's something I would have bought just as like an ornament anyway, but I kind of, on this little shelving unit behind me, which I'll probably insert images of now, I have like a kind of little film studio cubby hole that has the film stuff in it, and on the other side I have Harry Potter stuff, which I'll show you in a minute. But yeah, I just thought that went really nicely in there, and it's so cool. It's so unique and weird and not something you see often, so I was like, I have to have this. Very cool, I love it. Small one now. It's a tiny R2-D2 with Mickey ears. Isn't he fab? I'm not big in Star Wars, as we well know. That's very much a Connor thing, but one of the first times we went to Disney, I bought Connor a little R2-D2 with his little Mickey ears on, so he's not just a standard Star Wars thing, he is a parks specific item with his little Mickey ears on there. That's just, again, it just sits on the shelf. I like things that are subtle, like it's not something that's not like a huge BB-8 like Connor has in my front room, our front room, sorry. But yeah, I like subtle things. You wouldn't necessarily notice him straight away, but then you look closer and you go, oh, that's a Disney Parks thing. Like, I love stuff like that, and he just kind of sits on the shelf as a reminder of our first trip to Disney, which is very cute and sentimental. This next one is it's actually a little bit odd. It's if anyone's been to Efteling, you'll know that some of their dark rides have really specific fragrances and smells, and in the gift shops of those rides you can actually buy the smells. I am obsessed with the Fata Morgana smell. I think it's absolutely amazing. It's one of those things you smell it and it instantly takes you back to that specific time and place. I will get the Droomvlucht smell when I go back to Efteling this year, but in the meantime I've had the Fata Morgana. You can kind of see the fab packaging there. Really nice. You've obviously got the facade of the ride on the bottle there. You've got the facade of the ride on the bottle there, and the really nice, obviously ornate, like Efteling design. But the Efteling sticker, I didn't actually take the sticker off the back when I bought it. That's the actual Efteling sticker from when you buy it in the park. And it, smell it now. Oh my god, it smells so nice. Amy pointed out that this smells like baby wipes, and it does. But I mean, I don't hate it. It smells like the ride just happens to smell like baby wipes. I actually have this as a bathroom spray. Sorry, it's come out my nose, I'm gonna sneeze in a minute. I actually have this as a bathroom spray, so it's kind of like, my bathroom always smells of Efteling, and if you know my bathroom, anyone who's been here, the bathroom is grim, so this is like the nicest part of my bathroom, at least some kind of effort put into making it actually nice. But yeah, it's I absolutely love this stuff. I'm definitely gonna have to stock up when I go back, because it's kind of like room sprays in general. It's not obviously something you can just pop to the shops and get. So I think I'll get another Fata Morgana and a Droomvlucht one this time. But yeah, if you go to Efteling, I definitely recommend getting this stuff, because it's a unique and weird thing for a theme park to sell. I wish more theme parks sold the smells of their rides. Like, if Phantasialand sold a Mouse au Chocolat smell in a bottle, I would be all over that. I love it. So I absolutely love a trinket tray. I don't wear tons of jewellery, but I do wear jewellery and I'm really forgetful. So I try to buy a trinket tray so that when I take off my jewellery, I know exactly where I've put it. I've put it in a trinket tray somewhere. When we went to Orlando recently in September, we bought this one, which as you can see, it's in the shape of the castle, which is really cool. And if you look close, there's all kind of, they're like luggage stickers almost. They're designed to look like luggage stickers, and obviously got like Tower of Terror there, Everest there, Small World there. And look, it's all the different ones based on the attractions from around Walt Disney World. That just sits on my front room. We've got like a little side coffee table, and that sits on there. And when I come home from work, I'll kind of take off my ring, take off my watch. That kind of sits on there. There'll probably usually be some spare change in there somewhere as well. But yeah, again, it's not like really obviously Disney. Obviously it's in the shape of a castle, so obviously it's Disney, but you know what I mean? Like, it's not like garish and like, I don't know, covered in sparkles and flashing lights. It doesn't play like it's a Small World or anything like that. It's just a nice subtle piece of kind of home ornament furnishing stuff that still has that hint of parks about it, which I really, really like. I also have a real thing of like, something might not necessarily be homeware, but I will buy it because I can use it as homeware. So you've seen that with the Shanghai Disney boba tea little plastic cup. This one's actually also from Shanghai Disneyland, and it's this really cool Mickey. It's actually a popcorn bucket. Let's see if I can open it. I think it might still have the handle. No, I threw the handle away. Yeah. We have cleaned this, but it does still slightly smell of the Shanghai Disneyland popcorn smell, which is amazing. But they're just, it's made of plastic, but it's like really nice high quality plastic. And this is obviously like anything you can put stuff inside as kind of extra storage I love, but obviously that's just really clearly Disney. But I like that it's kind of the classic Mickey design. It's not too overbearing, it's not too kind of garish or anything. It's just kind of really simple kind of retro Mickey design, which I think just looks really cool, just sat on my kind of theme park geek shelf over there. I haven't actually found anything to put in this. One day it will come in useful where I need storage for something, and I feel like you could use it as like a pen pot or something. A load of pens could go in here. I might actually do that. That's quite a good idea. Yeah, like stationery and stuff I could probably put in there, and that'd be quite convenient. But yeah, that just kind of sits over there. But again, nice reminder of our time at Shanghai Disneyland. And it's just, yeah, anything like this I have to have. More trinket trays next, and a park that doesn't actually do that much amazing merch, considering it's one of the most visited theme parks in Europe. Walt Disney Studios in Paris, obviously Disneyland Paris itself has tons and tons of merch. You can get Disneyland Paris everything, but the Walt Disney Studios specific stuff there's not a lot of, which annoys me because you've got this whole kind of vintage Hollywood vibe going on. It would make sense that you could get a lot of nice kind of homeware stuff, but they never really have a lot. But one year we went, oh, I'll see if this has a U on it. No, I can't even remember when I got this, but one year we went and they had this really cool trinket tray. You can see that. And it's kind of made to look like an old movie ticket. Like, isn't that cool? I absolutely love it. I was like, that is absolutely great. And it's, again, it's just a trinket tray. It sits on my shelf. It has obviously the Walt Disney Studios logo on it, but it's got that vintage Hollywood theme. So I kind of sit that with, I've got a clacker board down there as well, I think. So I've got the Universal ball, the Walt Disney Studios trinket tray, and it's just kind of got a vintage Hollywood theme to that shelf, I guess. This next one is probably, looking at everything, I think this is probably the geekiest thing I own, and it is this piece of Wodan wood. I always think like, it never makes sense to me. People are like, it's a piece of wood from Wodan. It's like, yeah, but it's standing, so it's not actually a piece of Wodan, it's a piece of wood that has the Wodan logo. So you can see there, it's kind of really nice Wodan logo there, imprinted into the wood. I think it's got, yeah, it's got like a serial number on it there, you can see. And it tells you where from the ride it's from. But I mean, sometimes I'm really crap at this. I have no idea what that means. If that's like where they replace bits of wood, who knows. That I use, and yeah, look, you can see there, it's got the Europa Park logo. That I actually use as a bookend, but it does annoy, like, so it does annoy me a little bit because the slant is the bit that you would technically face towards the books, the way I put it on the shelf, so I kind of have to move it around a little bit so that it sits properly. But yeah, that's really cool. And again, it's quite subtle. From far away, it just looks like a kind of rustic piece of wood on the shelf, and it's only when you look closer, and even if you look closer, if you didn't know that Wodan was a roller coaster, you wouldn't necessarily know what it was, which I like. I actually quite like the whole buying a piece of wood thing from a park. I know that Towers did it for Wicker Man, which is cool. A lot of the European parks do it as well. I think that's quite a unique thing to collect. It doesn't look like, I know some people collect like wheels of coasters and stuff, but I think that's just a little bit too like, oh, it's a little bit too workshop for my, I don't want that in my front room. Whereas a nice varnished piece of wood, I will definitely make an exception for, especially if it can double up as a bookend, which this one does very nicely. Going back to things that aren't merch or homeware that I use as homeware, and moving on to Harry Potter stuff, which I don't actually have that much of, which is kind of crazy considering like Connor absolutely loves Harry Potter. But again, this one is a pumpkin juice bottle. You can see there. I just, you know, I love spooky stuff. I love Halloween. I love pumpkins. This has a pumpkin lid. I just think like obviously the bottle is plastic, but the kind of top thing is a bit more hard wearing and it feels a bit more permanent, like it wasn't meant to be thrown away. This one is actually from Universal Japan. You can see all the Japanese info on the back there. But again, I put that on my shelf down there. There's Harry Potter books and there's one other Harry Potter thing which I'll show you in a minute. But they all kind of sit up. It's almost, I kind of see that as like an ornament. Like obviously it's just a water bottle, well, a pumpkin juice bottle, but yeah, I think that just looks really cool sat there, like because of the hard plastic top of the bottle, it just feels like it's not just a rank old bit of litter that I've happened to have kept. It does feel like it's got a bit more of a purpose to it. And another one on the Harry Potter theme is this Skelly Grow bottle. See him there, he's quite cool. I just thought this was really unique. Like I always love the design of the bottle in the films, and they sold, is this one from Japan as well? Yeah, this one's from, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that on the back there, it does say Universal Japan. I don't remember ever seeing this in the American parks, but it's kind of like, it does this, so. He's fab! Yeah, he sits on the Harry Potter shelf next to the pumpkin juice bottle and the Harry Potter books and kind of protects the Wi-Fi password from people. But yeah, I just think it's cool. Again, subtle things, like if you know Harry Potter and you know the films, you'll know that the Skelly Grow bottle is from Harry Potter, but if you don't, you might just kind of look at it and go, okay, that's just a bit of a weird piece of paraphernalia, but Harry Potter specific, theme park specific, I love it. I'm not really huge on plushes. I like park specific plushes. I've been told that there is a plush of the whale from Symbolica at Efteling, which I'm probably gonna have to buy when I go in December this year. But again, I'll make an exception for things like these guys, who are the kind of the vintage black and white Mickey and Minnie. As you can see, I'll show you up Minnie's skirt, sorry Min. They're Disney parks specific, that's gonna focus. They are Disney park specific, so don't think you can get these anywhere else. Again, I like that they're quite subtle. They've got the black and white vibe, so they go in my monochrome front room. They kind of sit on the sofa. I do have some other Mickey and Minnies. I think I've got an Oswald and the girl one whose name I can never remember, and like one or two other plushies, but generally speaking, I don't tend to do tons of plushes just because I think it can very quickly get out of control, and they're quite big, some of them, aren't they, and quite cumbersome. But I will make an exception for something very cute, and they're only small and they're very nice and they fit in with the vibe of the front room. So they live in here and they kind of sit on the sofa and just add that extra level of, I think it just adds a bit of personality. Like me and Connor just love the Disney park, so it's nice to have that reminder sat there on the sofa with us. In hindsight, I really wish that when I went to Hong Kong Disneyland I had bought the music box from Mystic Manor. I did look at it and I was going to get it, but we went to Hong Kong, was one of the first places we went on our honeymoon, and all I had in my head was, I'm going to have to carry this intricate music box around with me for the rest of this 3-week trip, and I just didn't think it would survive, so I chose not to buy it. I might have to, my friend lives in Hong Kong, so I might have to reach out and see if he can send me one over. But we did pick up this thing, which is, again, it's one of those weird, you can see it says Hong Kong Disney on the front there, if it's gonna focus, yeah. It's like got that kind of the classic Mickey vibe going on. I wish it didn't say Mickey Mouse here. I always planned to paint over that, but then I could never be bothered. But this is one of those, like, it's very much a souvenir, but I quite like that it was just kind of like a wooden, like you can hear it's like a wooden, like really high quality wooden box. But if you open it, if you open the top, it's got sweets in the top, and if you open the drawer, it's also got sweets in the drawer. So it's just kind of a cool sweet box that happens to have like Hong Kong Disneyland on it, the Mickey ears. Again, that just sits on my shelf, just in with the other Mickey stuff, and just kind of acts perhaps as a reminder of our trip to Hong Kong. But yeah, like I said, I do wish I'd brought that music box because it was so pretty. It definitely wouldn't have lasted the trip. I can't really remember where I got the idea from to do this one, but I feel like I saw it on Instagram or something. But anyone who has been to Trader Sam's Grog Grotto at the Magic Kingdom, well, not the Magic Kingdom, at Walt Disney World at the Polynesian Resort, knows that when you order the cocktails, they come in these awesome like themed ceramic mugs. And I got a zombie, which comes in a zombie head ceramic mug, and I was like, I'm gonna turn that into a plant pot. So I did. He's fab. He is, yeah, like you see, like a shrunken zombie head. He's got hands in the back of his head, like the stitches and stuff. I don't know. Yeah, he does. I'm gonna try to do this without spilling dirt everywhere. He does say Trader Sam's Grog Grotto on the bottom there. You can see. But yeah, when we came home, I kind of put a plant in him, and he just kind of sits on the shelf. I think it's a really good idea to do stuff like this with mugs, because I find often when you bring drinkware home, there's only so many cups of tea I can drink. Like I find that I don't really keep my mugs on a good rotation. So a lot of the time you buy these really cool mugs, and then they just kind of sit in your cupboards and you never get to see them. Whereas this way, he's out on display all the time. I can always look at him and go, oh, he's so cool. I love him. I really love that we did this, and I'm going back there this year, so I might buy a different cocktail this time, and then he can have a friend and they can sit next to each other with their little plants coming out their heads. This is probably one of the girliest things that I own. I tend to go for kind of neutral kind of vibe when I get my kind of homeware merch, so that Connor doesn't go too crazy. But when we went to Dollywood, I saw this musical snow globe, and I was like, that is absolutely stunning. See, it's got the Dollywood logo on there, carousel horse, and when you obviously shake it, it's got the glitter and everything. It's so nice. I know it plays a song, but I can never remember what song it plays. I'm sure that's probably a Dolly Parton song, but my Dolly knowledge is not up to scratch, so I don't know what song it plays, and I don't really ever play it. It just kind of sits on my dressing table looking fab. But yeah, just how gorgeous is that? It's so nice, so stunning, and so unique as well. Something like, obviously not a lot of parks are going to sell something like that. Dollywood obviously would. You probably get similar things in the Disney parks. Yeah, something that just sits really nicely on my dressing table, and it's just very cute. The next item is something very sentimental to me. My great-grandparents went to Disneyland in California, I think in something like 1970. So not that long after it opened. And on their shelf they always had this amazing Disneyland, see there, this Disneyland mug with this amazing, it's kind of like 3D motif of Main Street USA. And you can see some of the characters there. I think there's Mickey and Minnie in the little car there, and as you go around you've got Huey, Dewey and Louie, and Goofy and Donald are with them, and then there's Snow White and Prince Charming in the back. It's absolutely stunning. It's just such a unique piece. And it's something that always was just on the shelf in my grandparents' house, and I remember like every time I went around there I was obsessed with looking at it. So I've been into theme parks from a very young age, but when they sadly passed away a few years ago, this was the one thing I wanted to kind of keep as a memento of them. It's, again, I don't really do anything with it. It just kind of, I keep it on my dressing table, and it just kind of sits there as a reminder, I guess, of them. And just, I mean, it's just obviously just such a stunning, beautiful piece of park memorabilia as well. And so it's really lucky to just have that in my family and be able to kind of keep that safe and keep that on display in my house. And finally, in the front room, I'm gonna do my bedroom all as one thing, because it all has a kind of a similar theme. But the last thing in my front room is, on my wall I have a giant puzzle a giant puzzle design of Disneyland Paris. I think me and Connor bought this probably the second or third time we went to Disneyland Paris. Connor absolutely loves jigsaws, and when we went we found this this puzzle of this Disneyland Paris park design that we absolutely loved. It was huge, and it was perfect to fill a gap on the wall in our front room, which I'll show you now, kind of some close-ups of it. So it's pretty big. I don't really want to lug it over and show it to you over here. But it's kind of got this really kind of minimalistic pastel design, which which looks really nice in the white frame against the white wall. It's just really clean, and again, on first glance, it's not something that you would immediately recognise as a Disney Parks piece of merch. It's something you just think, oh, it's just a piece of art on the wall, and then when you look closer you realise what it is, which we all know, that's the stuff I love. And again, in the front room, there's 2 more photos in my front room. This guy on the windowsill here is just a vintage photograph of people riding roller coasters. You can see that there. And that kind of just sits in the corner. Again, it's a subtle hint to my nerdiness that Connor allows me to have up in the front room. And just behind me here, I don't really want to get that off, I'll show you a close-up in a minute. It's a, I think it's a fan art poster. I don't know where Connor got this from. He got it for me for my birthday once, I think. But it's a fan art poster design of the Haunted Mansion. Which is very cool, again very subtle. It's kind of this retro arty kind of, I guess it's like, I don't even know what style we would call that, but it's quite minimalistic again, I guess, but something that's quite subtle, and it sits in the corner, and on first glance you might not necessarily realise that it's a Haunted Mansion piece, and then you look closer and go, aha, theme park nerd house, haha. And then lastly, onto the bedroom. We recently did it up so it's got more of a minimalistic vibe similar to the front room. We painted the walls white and kind of just did a black and white monochrome kind of thing in there. But we do have a kind of Haunted Mansion thing going on in the bedroom. So I'll start you off with these, I've said Haunted Mansion, and I'll start you off with these posters that are prints of Tower of Terror designs, but I don't know, does anyone else do that in their head? You group all the spooky Disney attractions together, so like in your head Tower of Terror and Haunted Mansion kind of go together. I don't know, to me that makes sense. But yeah, these two obviously, I think it's one is the Hollywood, what's it called? The High Tower Hotel, sorry, not Hollywood, the High Tower Hotel at Tokyo Disney Sea is one of the designs there, which is really cool. And again, they're these kind of fan art style prints. I don't think they're officially commissioned by Disney. They might be, who knows? I know so much detail about the art that's on my walls, I don't. Which yeah, I absolutely love those. Again, subtle stuff that's on the walls that you wouldn't necessarily realise. But yeah, the rest of the room is very much anything theme parkish in there. I've tried to keep to a Haunted Mansion style thing. So we've got behind the bed, we have these mini postcard prints of the stretching portraits in the Haunted Mansion. So I've brought you one out here to see up close. Sorry, get the reflection. You can see her, that's obviously the umbrella and the crocodile girl, and there are 4 of these. They just kind of lean up against the wall behind the bed, as you'll see there in the picture. Next up is another trinket tray, which I got on my most recent visit to Disney, which I think I've shown you guys in the Florida Orlando haul. I'll show you again. It's this really cool Madame Leota trinket tray, like that. How cool is that design? And it's got this kind of little raven dude there. Again, that sits on my side so I have somewhere to dump my jewellery so I don't lose it. But how cool is that? That is just so sick. I absolutely love that. She's so creepy and scary, and again she just kind of sits on the side being spooky. I actually picked these up at the outlets, not when we went most recently, but when we went back in 2016. And I think we just must have timed it right. I don't know how this works because I think we went in July when we went in 2000. No, when the hell did I last go? Was it 2016? Yeah, 2016. We went in July, so I don't know how this worked out, but somehow we went and we got a lot of Halloween stuff. I don't know how we worked it, or spooky stuff. So I got these plushes of the hitchhiking ghost. Look how cool! I think it was like $10 or something, and I was like, I need to have this. They're all kind of strung together like this, and they kind of sit behind, again, they sit on, we've got like this weird shelf thing behind our bed, and these guys just kind of sit there. Again, I don't love plushies, but I will make an exception for really fucking cool plushies, and these guys made the cut. Like, obviously, look at them, they're awesome. But yeah, again, not tons and tons of Haunted Mansion stuff, just a few set pieces that you kind of go in and go, yeah, it's Haunted Mansion stuff and I like it, and sometimes I forget it's there. So yeah, that is it. Oh no, oh my god, there are 2 items that I have forgotten. And finally, to wrap it up, for some reason my flat is like, it's quite cold, which is nice in the summer, like this time of year when it's a little bit muggy. Like, I'm currently sat here, like, I'm not sweating, but I'm not like cool, I'm not like, I'm a bit uncomfortable, but my flat's quite cool in that it keeps a breeze going through. But in the winter, that's obviously not great because it's quite hard to heat, so we have a lot of blankets. So I've started this tradition of trying to, if I see a cool theme park blanket, I'll pick it up. So there's a couple of theme park blankets here that I have. I think I showed this one as well on my Orlando haul, so sorry for doubling up. It's this really amazing Universal Studios, like you can see up close. It's kind of this, it's almost kind of like a woven piece. What the hell do you call it? Not a tapestry. Like you make it on like a loom, you know what I mean. But yeah, it's so nice. I absolutely love the design of this. Like anything with like the classic Universal logo on, I think is awesome. And again, subtle. Like when I fold it up, it just looks like a blue blanket. Like you wouldn't know that it's Universal, but then when it comes out, it looks so fab. I absolutely love that piece. And lastly, the final piece, I'm not lying this time, this actually is the final piece of theme park homeware, is this amazing Disney Hollywood Studios blanket, which I'll kind of slowly go up. It's obviously got Tower of Terror there, Fantasmic, Maleficent Head, Rock and Roller Coaster. It's got film director Mickey in the middle on this kind of like vintage Hollywood background design, and if you lift up the bottom, it's got Buzz Lightyear there and Lightning McQueen for the kind of the Pixar element of the park, and R2-D2 and C-3PO in the other corner for the Star Wars stuff. But yeah, when I saw this, I think it was one of those things, you know when you're walking around Disney World and you're like, I want that, I want that, I want that, and you make like a mental note. Oh my god, what the hell's Rabbit doing? And you make like a mental note, like, oh, I'm gonna come back and buy that. And I think we went back into the studios just for one last ride on Tower on the very last day of the trip, and I was like, the blanket, I remembered it, and I managed to pick it up. It was the very last thing we bought when we visited in 2016, and I got to take it home with me, and I'm just like, oh, I absolutely love snuggling up under this. It's absolutely fab. And again, it's something quite unique. I don't think I've ever seen anyone else with it, which is something I also try and do with kind of the pieces I pick up. I don't want stuff that everyone else has got. I want stuff that's quite unique to me. So that is it for my theme park homeware, not homeware haul, homeware tour, I guess, video. I hope you guys liked it. I know it's something a little bit different. Let me know, give it a thumbs up if you like this kind of thing. Let me know in the comments below what your favourite piece of theme park homeware was, or what your favourite piece of theme park homeware is that you personally own. Let me know as well if you like this kind of video. I'll think of more stuff to do. I'll probably at some point do like a theme park magnet tour, show and tell. I don't know what you call these videos, and a theme park mug show and tell as well, if that's something you want to see. So obviously let me know in the comments, and thanks so much for watching. Do all the stuff like, subscribe, share if you want to. I don't know why you want to share it, but if you want to share it, share it. Yeah, and thanks so much for watching. See you later, bye.